Right, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to do some work on the metal planer here. We're going to machine the inner frame rails for the tender of the locomotive. The inner frame rails, they're made out of bright drawn mild steel. So what we're going to do first is just clean them off. It will always come, when you get bright drawn mild steel, it always comes with like an oily greasy crap on it. You've got to take that off. It stops it from growing rusty and protects it. It's important they put it on at the mill when they roll in the stuff. We're going to do a simple operation which may take a little bit of setting up first though, because what we're going to do is we've got to make sort out some tooling to hold this material on the bed so it's nice and straight and flat and whatever. And what we're going to use, if you remember some time ago we did our test piece for the planer to prove that it could machine work. It could still do the job it was designed to do 125 years ago, and it could do it to a good standard, which it did. We're going to use that block, and we're going to fasten that block to the table and use that as our fence, or our, if you like, our angle block, so we can butt the rail up against it. And then we're going to clamp it with our wedges. You've seen the wedges on previous videos, but I'll show you what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we're going to measure how long we've got to cut these rails off at. We're going to saw them off first on the power hacksaw. I'm going to bring you over to the bench and we're going to have a look at measuring the length. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to measure from the little shoulders here to here, and we'll just compare them. We'll measure each one individually. There may be some discrepancy between the two. And what we're going to use are these, not used very often at all nowadays, but it's the only thing that we can really get in. There's quite a distance here. And these are inside calipers. Could be used on outside as well if you spun them around far enough. Look, see? But I'm using them as outsides. They're the biggest ones I've got. I don't have any. No, I don't have any others. I was just looking to see what I got hanging up on the wall. What we're doing here. Try not to move this. I don't want this to tight fit in the frame. I don't want any bending or buckling or anything like that. Let's just verify what we've got. Do you know, we could actually cut this at 17 3/4. If we cut this at 17 3/4, it's slightly under. And that'll suit what we're doing here. We don't want a tight fit. If you had a tight fit, that'll buckle and twist because you've got pressure on the end squeezing it in. I don't want that. I want this to be, when it's installed, to be free, unstressed. And I want the same on the other one. So we're going to do one at 17 3/4. So we're going to write that down on our little pad. Let's see what the other one turns out to. Shouldn't be far out. So we want 17 3/4 inches. Right, I'll measure the other one, and then I'll sort out I'll let you know what it is. Alright, we've cleaned the material off. Now we've got it in the vise. We're going to set it so both pieces need to be 17 3/4. So both will be the same. So we'll cut them off to length. We're just setting the distance now, and I just need to use my rule. I used to have a 2-foot rule, I don't know where it's gone to. It's disappeared. 17 3/4 where we at. Bloody things all over the place. 17 3/4. There you go. It's supported in our little stands as well. You see them here. Right, I'll put it on the bench. I'll do them one at a time. I'll give it a good oiling first. I haven't used this for a few days, so I always like to give it a bit of an oiling. I have this absorbent thing here, tissue thing, because it's a total loss system, and the oil does leak, obviously. I think I've said on other videos as well, I use a 220 oil, a 220 bearing circulation oil. I prefer it heavier. Right, there you go. Right. Power on? Nope. It is now. Make sure it's tight, yeah. There you go. Job done. Right, I'll do the other one. I'll cut that down, and then we'll, in fact we'll trial fit this first, just see what it looks like. See if we need to make any adjustments, and then we'll do the other one. I've just checked it in the frame. It's a little bit tight, so what we'll do is we'll just file a little bit off the end. But we'll cut the other one the same as this. I checked it in, that one in both places, so that was our gauge, if you like. That's not long enough, is it, to make another one out of? Or is it? It is. Well, looky there. Right, so that we can use this piece, just crop the end off. 2 out of 1. Ends are looking up. We've just got to cut the end off. That'll be fine. Well, the important thing is that we're oversized, not undersized. Right. Just this is a really nice little machine, this is. I quite like it. Saves a lot of messing about. I mean, I could cut through this quite easily with the ordinary hacksaw. But you know, when you've got a machine tool, why not use it? There you go. Okay. There you are. There we go. Right, let's see how these fit. See, can you see it's a bit, just a little bit too long. So we can take that off. I don't want anything forced. I want things to sit in nicely. I'd sooner have it over length than under length. So we'll take a little bit off there. Now let's take the burr off and we'll just give it a try. check that. Alright. There you go, see? See how that fits in there? Nice now. That's okay. There's no stress in that component at all now. We're not trying to squeeze it and buckle it. Fits in, it's nice. Alright, so that's the first one. Yeah, it's just a little tiny bit of movement there. That's the first one, that's how that'll fit. Can you see that there? Just about. Right, I'll fit the other one and I'll bring you back for our next stage. Right, there we are, that's the second one. It fits in there nice. There you go. You see. That's how it's gonna sit in there. That's the inner frame. Alright, we've got to machine them down now. Let's go have a look at that. Right, first thing we're going to do is just give this a wipe off. We haven't given it a clean off since we did the work on the test piece. Probably a month or two back now. There is some debris and crap. You're always going to accumulate some kind of rubbish on your machines over a period of time, so it's worthwhile just getting things cleaned down, even if you haven't used them for a long time. There we go. Just put that there. Alright, what we're going to do then, let me explain. This was our test piece, remember, that we machined. We're going to use that as our setup block. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill through here, 3 places, put T-nuts in, studs, nuts, clamp that in place. Yeah. If we were to look at this in a few years' time, this would be covered in holes, but I've used it for setups and things. Anyway, and what we're going to do is we're going to stand this up like that. We'll use our wedges. Remember the wedges that we had? We'll drive them in, hold it in place. We might, because we're only taking a little bit off, I don't think we need to put anything at the front here. The wedge will probably hold it tight enough. Although we might just move that back a little bit. And we can set something up on here, one of the square dowels, and we can just stop that from moving forward. Doesn't harm. So there we are, that's what we're going to do. The first job is we're going to drill for 3/8 clearance on the block. So I'm going to mark that out and we'll get on with that. Right, we're going to mark this out now. We could put some marking blue on if we want to help us see what we're doing. Got some stuff here, look. It's the only thing with these screw tops. If you get any of the blue in here, it just dries and hardens and it won't come out that easy. We're going to put a hole in about there, and about there. And we just let that dry for a minute. This stuff stinks. Whatever you do, do not put this near any matches. Look. It's extremely volatile. First. So we got 23¼ inches there. So halfway is going to be 11 1/8, 11 1/2, 11 5/8. Yeah. Doesn't have to be accurate or anything like that. What we're going to do is we're going to set that at 2 inches. And from the end, just got to see. Right. Square. line. Two. I like my tungsten scriber. I've got my high speed, or carbon steel I think, scriber, which is okay on mild steel. You can't use that on hot rolled or anything like that. And blunt it in no time. Anyway, right, that's that. Now we can use this. No, I'm not looking at here. It's way out, isn't it? That's 2 13/16. That's got to be 1 13/32. Yeah, 9 miles out there. I was giving you some bum steer before. That was 2 11/16. Yeah, 2 11/16. So I wanted to send it 1 11/32s, which is better. It's a bit better. Just turn it around on that side. See the two lines. It's accommodate for any deviation, and then you dot punch between the two lines. Up there. Up there. See, we've got two little lines there, there, and there. And we'll just dot punch between the two of them. So we just use this and then a magnifying glass to see what I'm doing. One second. Okay. That's okay as well. We'll use our dot punch and then our centre punch to open the pot mark up. This helps to allow the drill to start. Right. There we go. Goes there. That far there. And go away. Alright, let's set up and start drilling. Alright, we've just sharpened our drill. If you can see that. Just doing it by hand on the bench grinder there, just winding itself down. I've still got my goggles on because it's still running. You never know with grinders what's going to happen. In fact, let's just move that out of the way. This is a 3/8 Jacobs chuck. It's a good one, it's made in the United States. I'm not sure if it's a ball bearing one. I like Jacobs chucks, they're really good. There's another chuck you can get, it's called Albright or something like that, a German one. That's an excellent chuck as well. There's going to be others out there, but I like these Jacobs chucks. And if you can get, they used to make them, well, they were made in, what did it say, Hartford, Connecticut, USA. Yeah. I think Jacobs chucks, these were the people who made the Jacobs brake, the Jake brakes on the diesel engines on the trucks. Those are the people who come up with the, well, I think it was Classic Cummins who come up with the idea, because he'd parted company with Cummins diesel engines at the time. He had something to do with the Jacobs chuck people, and they made it for him. But anyway, I'm not sure about that, not important. What is important is get these holes drilled. Now that's slow enough now, take my goggles off. Put them in the bag, keep them clean really. Keep the dust off and stuff like that. Right, we're going to change the speed on this, we're going to slow it down a touch. I'm pretty sure it's running quite fast at the moment because we were drilling them holes, remember, for the rivets. Right, I've just spotted this. I've got a clamp on here and I've got a bolt through there and another clamp at the back. See, it's just need to tighten this down. I'm not going to put a pilot through. A lot of these modern drills, they don't like pilots. There's a lot of vibration when you're chain drilling, one after the other. So what we do, just put this straight through. It'll go straight through that one. Cutting oil. The Osborne set just down at the back of the drill there. They do not like pilots. There we are, that's the first hole in. So you go straight through and that's a 10.2mm drill. Not to worry too much about the pilot. The drive on this isn't very real. I don't like the drive, the tension mechanism on the bolts and things. But this was a cheap little machine at the time and it was all you can afford, you know, so you've got to take what you can get. And it served me well, to be honest with you. I can't complain really. So I'm quite happy with it. Right, I'll drill the others off camera. Alright, we've drilled the holes. 3 holes for holding that down. And the T-nut in there. And one in here. Put one there. Let's offer that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't matter where we put it really, that will do. In between them two. So it's in between, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you go halfway. You get it balanced in the middle of the table then. We need that one there, we need that one there. So I'm pull it across, alignments, not bad. I'll put the middle on first. Alright, what do we want then? 3 studs, don't we? Are they long enough? Not quite. These are long enough, they will be. In fact, I'll just still so I've deburred these holes, but there's still a little bits of crap in them. just use it. There's a magnet on the end of my tungsten scribe, and I just use that. There we go. Let's put this away. It's a beautiful day outside, and you can see the sun through the, coming through the windows. So let's screw that in. Setups usually take the time with machinery. Okay. We can tooling and fixtures. That's where the money is really, in the tooling and fixtures. Alright, now we don't need to worry too much about the alignment. If it was critical, we would clock that, but it's not critical in here. So we're just going to butt that up against that. This is even. What we might do is move it back a touch so that this is central. I think we will do that. I can move that back. It's a bit better. Alright, let's get some nuts. 3. Lock that down. That's not far off, is it? Alignment anyway. Alright, let's grab a spanner. Now, what size is that? What do you reckon that is? I don't think it's 11/16, so it might be. And it is. There you are, we've got a very robust fence or angle, a pseudo sort of angle iron for our work to clamp up against. That's extremely strong. Alright, I've got my stop here, which I need to put a nut on. Alright, the work butts up against them 2 pieces of plate, pieces of bar, sorry, in there. And what we'll do is we'll just take them out, so that's free. It's not free, yeah. We don't want things moving when we're machining. We want things stationary and rigid. Let's put on there. 3 wedges will be quite satisfactory. We'll need to adjust the stroke on this as well. It's too long at the moment. 1.5 inch AF spanner. I'm going to get a set of spanners, put a set of spanners just for this machine, get it set up properly. It's 9/16. That's typical, anything's right next to you as well. Anyway. I need to get a good set of spanners just for this. Saves you going backwards and forwards to the where they're stored over there. Right, now we can start thinking about driving the wedges in. We'll have to be careful here because we'll knock that way and knock that way. We can't knock that way because we can't get it in because of this stuff here. I'm sure we can sort it out. Right, let me just come around here. Right, when you drive it forward so you can get in. And this comes back here, where it's clear at the back. And knock the back one in. The back one's tight. We had to give this a good oiling up the other day, a couple of days ago. So we don't need to do that, it's already done. Alright, we're way out there, so we've got plenty of space to get in. But we've got to be careful, we don't want to damage anything by knocking these in. Okay. And we'll just knock this in as well. See what we've done, we've got some packing pieces in here just to make the distance up. I've just cut them off on the saw. That's it now, we'll give that a tap down just to be sure. That feels pretty good. Looks alright too. Alright. What we'll do, we'll just check the tightness on all the fasteners. Now we can start setting up the stroke. Yeah, it's good and tight. Right. Okay.